Who gets what, when, and how is the starting point and definition for understanding governance in the United States at the national level in this class and in most of political science. Um, in this video, I want to kind of give a little more insight and details about federalism. Federalism refers to the way in which the national government shares power with local levels. In the United States, that national level is housed in D.C., and the local levels are within each state and the local entities that are within those states. So that competition or challenge for power is present in federalism, and there are certain procedures that the state is charged with and others at the national, and there are some that are in between the two. The Constitution doesn't specifically mention federalism. However, it does make reference to where or how power is housed and in which area, the national or local level. In this lesson that we discuss federalism, there were three types of federalism that you should be familiar with and understand. The first is dual federalism, the second is cooperative federalism, and finally, new federalism. Dual federalism refers to the power sharing that's engaged in governing with not much interference at the national level. And this was the case during the first 1.5 centuries of the United States, where the states were able to exercise their own governance with minimal interference from the federal government. They were under the federal government, but in terms of the size of the federal government and the desire to impact what went on in the states, it just was not capable. Sometimes this type of federalism or this dual federalism is referred to as layer cake federalism. If you're a baker or familiar with how cakes, a layer cake, there's a clean distinction between perhaps chocolate and vanilla. And that's the case with the dual federalism. There's a distinction between what the national governance is and what the local governance is. They exist together, but there's certain aspects, and during dual federalism, the state was involved with more of the governing that went on in their particular area. Cooperative federalism is the second one and refers to a situation when the local government acted with nationally defined goals. So the national government is exerting more power and authority over the state government and shaping the direction in which they're working. In the 1930s, 40s, 50s, and 60s in the United States, that environment was ripe with cooperative federalism. And it was largely because of the opportunities that were presented by the Great Depression that created a more influential national government and allowed the government to grow in size. So if you look at Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal and Lyndon Baines Johnson's Great Society, you'll see demonstration of how this government size grew and were able to intervene at the local level and have a more dominant consideration with what went on at the local and state levels. The final area of federalism that we talked about in this section is new federalism. And new federalism refers to the transferring of powers back to the states. In the late 1970s and during Ronald Reagan's administration, there was discussions about having the states be more influential in determining what they did. And this included the ability for them to take block grants and utilize them in the way that they saw fit. So during Reagan's administration, it was an idea that the national government should be smaller or have less influence, and they reverted back to the states' power. So this conversation or debate between national versus state rights is something that was going on before the country was formed and continues today. If anything's unclear about federalism or these three various types, please review this video again or get in contact with me via email or phone. Thanks.